All right. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day. We're going to be doing a flight from Santa Ana, Orange County, California, John Wayne Airport. And we're going to be flying to Sacramento. So this should be an interesting flight because we've got some weather in California coming in. And as you can see, we've got overcast skies. There's a little bit of drizzle throughout the area, and actually Sacramento is looking pretty bad. Let me pull up the observations here. So let's see here. I'm on SimBrief, got my route put in. Let's take a look at Sky Vector. And we've got Santa Ana to Sacramento, and you can see the weather here. Looking pretty cruddy. Get off of there, come on. So yeah, we're going to be taking off, doing a little turn here, heading up through the Central Valley, all the way up to Sacramento. You can see there's quite a bit of rain there. Let's take a look at Sacramento. Ooh, look at that, red. So currently at Sacramento, winds are 010 at 3 miles visibility, so it actually improved a little bit. I think it was like 2.5 when I looked at it a little while ago. They've got moderate rain and fog, scattered at 400, broken at 900, overcast at 1500. And we'll take note of the altimeter setting there. It's 2989. So this should be an interesting flight, to say the least. We're going to be taking the 757. Now, the 757 here, I've literally only flown this like maybe 4 or 5 times. I just recently purchased it. This is the Flight Factor 757. And like I said, I'm still learning the system, so hopefully I don't screw anything up. I seem to always, oh look at this, we got rain now coming down. Nice. Take a look around. Back in the cockpit. Yep, raining in Santa Ana. All right, let's get stuff started up here. Like I said, I'm learning this airplane still, so I'm hoping I don't screw anything up. So let's see here. Battery on. Standby power to auto. And I believe the next thing we got to do is get our APU started. Now, ground power doesn't say available here, so we'll just go to start. And hopefully we get our APU started here. I'm actually going to wait for the APU to start and then switch over to APU power before I go ahead and align my IRSs. So we'll give that a minute to start up. We can start getting some of our lights on here, so let's get our position lights on, and we can put our beacon on, our red strobes, not strobes, red beacons. Alright, it looks like our APU is started. And I'm waiting for APU power here. I don't know if this is supposed to light up for available or not. Oh, it's still start. So it's running. There we go. Now it goes to... I didn't touch it. It actually did that itself, so... Hopefully the next thing I see on here... There we go. What is that? Fail. Of course. Probably screwed something up. Alright, let's just go to on. Transfer power. Again, I don't know if that fail has anything to do with it, but we'll see. The one thing with this Flight Factor is it is very touchy with failures, I've found. pretty much every flight, or maybe I'm just not understanding, you know, the failure message that I had up here. Maybe that's normal. I don't know. Okay, but it looks like we are on APU power now. Don't want to touch those, I know that. Alright, let's turn our IRSs to nav, get them aligned. Let's go ahead and put our emergency lighting system armed. And let's see, seatbelts. Seatbelts. Come down here. Put our smoking sign on. Put our seatbelt signs on. I wonder if we got to put the fuel pumps on for the APU. I don't know. It seems to have started up, so. You know, and I didn't check our fuel. Well, let's go ahead and I'm just going to load it up with fuel anyway. And I'm going to do it through X-Plane. So 2.5 hours roughly is what we need. The flight there is about an hour, so that should work. Alright, there we go. Oh, we've got fuel. So let's go ahead and turn all of our fuel pumps on and our cross feeds. And we have fuel in the center tank, so we will turn those on. What does that say? It says press. Got it. And, okay, APU power, we'll do APU bleed on. Start getting pressure here. Go to auto on our packs. You can hear the air going on. Turn all our cabin stuff on, fans on, trim air on. Don't need to touch any of this. Pack off. Maybe we gotta do this. There we go. That sends it to both sides, it looks like. And we can turn our electrical hydraulic pumps on. Okay, and IRS is aligning. We'll come back up here and fix everything up, or finish it up. Let's take a look at the FMC. So, yep, that all looks good. Out of date, we'll clear that out. Just using the default. No updates or anything happening to the FMC. So we are at, I'm going to use the keyboard here, so we forgot to clear out that, and then we go KSNA. I think we're at gate 12, but it doesn't matter. Here's our GPS position, so I'm going to grab that, put it in there. All our stuff comes alive. Now, hopefully I do this the right way. Nope. Let's go back. Performance, okay. So gross weight, just take what it gives us. Reserves. What do we got for total fuel here? I guess I could look it up. No, that's not what I want to do. I want to look up. So we got 15, we got like 25,000 pounds, is that right? So I'm going to say we got, say 15,000 pounds reserve. Cruise altitude, we are kind of heading westbound, so it's going to be, let's try 340. Cost to index, and again, I'm just learning, excuse me, I'm learning the 757, so I know the cost index definitely changes the performance of the airplane, or the default settings for the performance of the engines. and power settings and all that. I don't fully understand it. I kind of do, but you know, I found that 125 gives me kind of what I'm expecting to see. All right, so then we go to takeoff. Flaps, we'll set 5. Click on CG 3.8. Remember that. We'll turn on our VREFs speeds. Okay, now if I click on that, departure. I guess departure route 1. See, one thing about this is, like, I know it's me, but I always seem to see different screens on here. I go through a different process on here, and like I said, I just got this plane, so I'm just learning it. So we got Santa Ana, put that in there. Destination, let's go back to our keyboard here, is KSMF, and that is Sacramento. Now, let's see. Now if I go here, there we go. That's what I'm expecting to see. So departing out of here, I know we're going to be 20 right. And if I take a look at my routing here, SimBrief is giving me Irvine 4, and if I look at Real World, it's not called Irvine 4, it's called H02. Otherwise the route's the same, so I don't see an H02 here. But I think it's the same as channel 3. And then we're going to EHF. I'm not sure which identifier that is. Come back here. Go to, oops, sorry. I've got this thing on. Let me turn that off. So I'm clicking around in here. Basically, this is what I was looking for. So I went into departures. Oh, now it's got an Irvine 4. Go figure. I don't know. 20 right, channel 3. We'll do Irvine 4. Let's do Irvine 4. See, this is where I don't understand why I didn't see. Oh, you know what? I bet you it's because of the runway. Irvine 4 is for 02 departure, and I think that is what that SimBrief was giving me. But I'm going to take off. I'm going to take off from the other runway, so we are going to do this, right? Okay. All right. So first departure is set. Now we are going to be taking. The winds are out of the northeast. They're light. So let's take a look at. Take a look at the configuration of the airport up here. So let's go to Sacramento. Let's look at the diagram here. All right, we're looking at it north. So we're going to be landing either 3-4 right or 3-4 left. Either one of those is good. So let's close this, so you can see what I'm doing. Don't want to do the ILS, I'm going to do the RNAV. We'll see how that looks. So RNAV, 3-4 left, right, let's go right. 3-4 right. And we want this one, the Suitor 3, SUUs. I know KSUU is the identifier for Travis Air Force Base, which is to the west of Sacramento. I happen to know that because I was stationed there. All right, and then transition New Ray. That's what I'm getting from my real world routing. Okay, I think the only thing we got to do now is execute it, right? And where do we do that? Route or activate it. Okay, there we go. So if we activate it, now I think we're good. Now we got to do execute. Now we go to legs. Let's take a look at our legs, and we put in our altitude, right? 340, I think. So let's see if I could zoom out a little bit on this so we can get a good view of it. And oh, I think if we go to, there we go, go to step, and let's go to the first page. So now the display here, let me go ahead and zoom in on this. Display, click on step and it'll step through. So here's where we're looking at first. We're sitting there, we're going to take off 20 right, and you can see this changes and it also moves us down each step here. So there's some NDB here we take off, and then we go to the intersection, and it's going to turn. We've got our speeds here, altitudes are all set. So now we're at this intersection right here. We go to whatever that is. Again, don't recall. I don't know if that's an intersection or a VOR or some waypoint. And then we go across LAX, Lando, whatever. I know that's a VOR, but I'm not sure what it is. And then we've got a discontinuity here, so let's just clear that. So we're going to go directly there. There we go. So Lando, where are we? We're at LAX. Then we go to Lando. Let me zoom out a little bit here now, since we're going up a little bit. There we go. So we're at Lando. Whatever VOR that is. Flight level 380S. I forgot what the S stands for. I know like A is at or above, so, and a B would be, you know, below, but not sure what the S is. Where are we at here? So we're at New Ray, and then we get our top of descent, Trulex, Suitor, all of these little waypoints down into the approach to the runway, and there's our runway right there. And then we've got holds back behind it, so I'm assuming the runway is down here. And then if we do a mist, this is our mist here. And if I zoom in, yeah, you can see here we come around, we do our approach to the thing, and if we have a mist approach, we go out here and hold it grime. Alright, so that looks good. Let's go back to our map. Come on. Alright, go back to our map. I'm going to zoom in right about there. Alright, so otherwise, everything else looks good. I'm going to leave it as is. We are programmed. Now let's see if we can start this thing without having a whole bunch of problems. Let's see, so just to make things easy, I'm going to set our altitude here directly to 340. Alright, 34,000, 132. I forgot what our V speeds were there, but it's okay, we're going to set it for 150. Alright, put our flight director on. We can arm our auto throttle. And let's look back up here. Alright. I didn't touch that. I didn't touch it. What are you doing? I think maybe because my computer's a little slow, sometimes the mouse is a little laggy when it's up here. I think I need a better graphics card. Alright, so everything else looks okay on here. I think we're ready to kind of push back and start. And then we'll clean everything else up on here. We've got our beacon on, we've got our position lights on. It's daytime, so we don't have to worry about lighting inside the cockpit at all. I know we've got to set this to auto 1 or 2. We'll just do 1. Our landing altitude. What is the altitude at Sacramento? Let's see here. Round about, really, 27 feet. Pretty low. Okay. Official field elevation is 27 feet, so let's crank this back down. I just think fly is when you scroll fast. Alright, 27 feet. Alright, we'll set it for 30. Alright, let's go back over here and we'll call our better pushback and get us pushed back. And that's about where I want to go. So
round to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Alright, so I think we're ready, I hope.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Alright, let's take a look up here and get ready for start. So while the tow is driving up, we'll put our yaw dampeners on. Hydraulic pumps, I'm not sure if you put them on before or after start, or if it makes any difference. Same with electrical. Alright, so that's on auto, auto. We don't click those until after start. What does it say? It says fail. Well, that's because we're not started yet. So we'll hold off on those two, I think. Alright, emergency lights are set. Engine starter will go to 1. I understand you can do either or. Anti-ice we don't need right at the moment. Wipers we're good. We don't need to turn any more lights on. Window heat, we can go ahead and put that on. And we're not going to touch.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect. Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake. Starting pushback, and you may start engines. Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by. Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time and have a great flight.
I'm an idiot. I just realized I was talking and I had my mic on mute. So, sorry about that. And we got stuff set up. I think we got the engine started. We got our pushback done. Put my wipers on here just for the hell of it. See what it looks like with some rain coming down. Waiting for this APU gen off to come off since we're not on APU power. Not sure. It says fail. And it still says running. How do you turn this thing off? I set it to off. If I do that, so we should be electrical. We're on engine power. So I want to turn that off. What does that say? It says ISLN. Don't know what the hell that means, but we'll go to auto on that. Utility bus. I'm just gonna make sure that's all on. Engine generators are on. Not sure why the APU isn't. There it goes. I can actually hear it too, ever so slightly. I don't know if that was a result of me pushing stuff, or if that just needed that time to, shut itself down. Probably that. Alright, so before we taxi, let's do our braking to rejected takeoff. We'll set our flaps. Where's our flap indicator here? So 2 notches down to 2. And I've got that set on my joystick. And what I was gonna do is come up here and start doing some lighting. So let's turn our nose taxi lights on. Our turn off lights on. It's pretty cruddy out there, even though we're only taxiing just a short distance here. We could do our wing lights too. What the heck? The strobes will leave off for right now until we get to the runway. Alright, so I think our brakes are off. I think we're ready to taxi. Power up a little bit. This is definitely going to be an IFR departure here. The weather's gotten a little bit worse since we started. This rain coming down. Get lined up here. And we will cross this runway. 20 left here. Look at us taxiing away. A lot of weather, well, I can't talk. A lot of weather and clouds, and I'm still learning how this 757 handles. Just a little bit of power will get you going pretty quick here. Alright, as we cross over 20 left.
Approaching 20 left.
Hopefully that's not too loud. I've been trying to adjust the volumes for recording here. And just looking at my volume levels, I'm gonna crank it up a little bit here. Alright, so as we get on our runway here, let's go landing lights on, get our strobes on, and let's turn our wipers off. We don't need them.
Approaching 20 right.
Probably picked up a frame or two. Of performance there, turning those wipers off. It's a little stuttery here for me, but we got rain, we got clouds, and I don't even want to. Oh, you know, we didn't set our altimeter setting, the 2098. We'll do that when we get on the runway here. Nobody else is flying, so
on runway 20 right.
We won't take up anybody's space here. Let's see. You know what? I am going to check the real world, not the real world, the sim. Let's see whether 2996 it says. All right, so let's go ahead and set this for 2996. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. It's my altitude bug. 2996. We got a little handy. Come on. Where is it? There we go. Transfer that over to the right side. Do the same for our backup altimeter. Alright, now we're ready for takeoff. So, we got our course on here. What are we at? 10 miles? Yeah, so this should be pretty straightforward. We're going to engage our LNAV, or at least click LNAV and VNAV. And
on runway 20 right. On runway 20 right.
Yeah. Okay, got it. All right, I'm just gonna hit that and let the engine spool up. Do our takeoff here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pause it. I know this is, the sound is a little bit low. So let me go ahead and bump up. Oh, yeah, it's really low. Let me bump this up a little bit. Let's take it off pause. There we go. Get rid of that. So at least you can get a little bit of sound there. We're at 90, 100, 120. And there's V1, and we're in a rotation. Off the ground we come. Okay, you got positive right gear up. Just 300 feet, 400 feet. I'm going to go ahead and hit the hit the autopilot. I'll throttle us back and throttle us back up. Let's take a look outside while it does that. Start getting our flaps up. You can see our leading edge here. You'll see this start kind of coming in. Hopefully. Either that or it's our anti-ice boots are popped. No, there it goes. I see him coming in. I'm looking at this little area right here. Not a very nice day in Southern California, and I am in Southern California in real life, so I can tell you that's just about what it looks like. Gray and misty with some rain. We've got a rainstorm coming in for later on tonight and tomorrow. Pop back inside here, make sure we're on our way. Alright, so climbing through 3,100, let's go. Gear to off. Turn our wing light off. And our landing light too. I think normally they keep them on till whenever. I think in the real world, I don't think they wait until 10,000 feet, which I see a lot of guys doing. Maybe that is, I don't know. But, I don't think anybody's going to see us in these clouds anyway. See us pop through these clouds and then start turning off our other lights here, so our nose gear light, and I can't grab this one. Maybe I can grab it. Nope. I'll get that once we get into the clouds here. See the rain coming down and popping in and out of the clouds. Alright, let me set up my view here as we go through a couple of cloud layers. Some more rain. Let's just turn off all my lighting here. Alright, we get that taxiway light on, everything else can stay on. I think we're good. So far, I can say that this has been the most uneventful flight I've had in a 757. Usually I get, like I said, I usually do something wrong and I have some failure or something. I'm learning though. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and turn that engine sound down just a tad here, because I know now it looks like it's a little loud. Go down one notch. Hopefully it's hopefully I'll get my sound figured out. Alright, so I'm gonna want to change my scale onto here. You know, we never turned on our altimeter, or not our altimeter, our let's see if I got that right. That's no. Wrong one. Alright, I want to go to weather on there, and we never turned on our I'm literally getting a brain fart. Our squawk here, our transponder. My goodness, I cannot think straight this morning. Let's get out of here. Get that out of my way. Alright. And yeah, so for weather radar, let's go ahead. I think this button here is weather. Put that on. So we've got it set for weather. There it goes, does a quick paint. We're already through most of it right here, but I think we're going to be hitting a lot more when we get up to Sacramento. So I'm going to turn down a little bit of this engine noise because it seems a little loud. Try to keep it at a decent level. A little bit more. Let's take a look outside here. See our departure out over the clouds. Playing around with the sound levels. Oops, sorry, I think that was loud. Yes, I'm just playing around with the sound levels. Sometimes it seems when I do a video and I have it set a certain way, I can hear the engine sounds quite a bit more than it shows up on the video. So I'm trying to find a happy medium there somewhere, where you're not just listening to me yelling into the mic here. Let's take a look out here. We're doing our intersection turn. Zoom up a little bit on that. Alright, let's just double check everything in the cockpit here. So, landing gear is set to off. Our auto braking is set to off. That clicks off from rejected takeoff automatically.
Altimeter setting.
And we got our altimeter setting, so we got to go back to 2992. Let me zoom in here as we pass 19,000. I like that little feature there where you just click that corner and it'll transfer it to the right side over here, so you don't have to go over there and screw around with it. So let's take a look at our FMC here. So we're going up to 340. Again, I'm not sure what the S stands for. I'm going to look that one up. Or maybe that's got a speed. It's a speed restriction? I don't know. I'll look that up. Like I said, I know that, you know, that means that crossing True Luck, you have to be at or above flight level 290. And we're going to be at 340. If it was a B, let's see if we got any B's here. Yeah, see, so here at Fools, you have to be at or below 210. So I know that's how it works. I'm not sure what the S stands for. First time I think, like I said, I'm new to the 757, so it's the first time I'm seeing that. Alright, we're on our way to cross over LAX for basically doing that little departure where actually, if you could look down, or sort of out over the Channel Islands, or Catalina, I think, whatever. Yeah, Catalina. You kind of go out right over to Catalina, and then swing back around, go back over LAX. Let's see, what do I want to put on here? I think that one is, what is that? I think that one's airports, is it not? I gotta adjust my views here a little bit. So the one thing I don't like is I can't see what the actual buttons are. And alright, so airport, so we got navigate, airport, data, waypoint. Okay. See, so from my cockpit view here, or my pilot view, I can't see that. So there's our waypoints. We don't need all that. Or that's all waypoints. This was our data, so that just puts in our data that you know, our altitude and speed and stuff. I don't need to see that right now. We got our airports here. So there's LAX, and that was our VORs. So there's Santa Monica, LAX right there. Get rid of those. I like to just have the airports on. Zoom out just a little bit more. And actually for the comms, we could just go auto right there. Let me scoot over to the other side, put that on auto. I saw that I had it was tuned to something here. At least the nav was. So we'll let the airplane take care of that. Just about ready to turn out on our course here. And I think once we do that, we can turn our seatbelt sign off. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's take a look to see what radar reports, or I'm sorry, what PIREPs we have in the real world. Let's take a look. I'll bring this on the screen in 1 minute so you can see what I see. There we go. Okay, so let's go layers, pilot reports. Let's see what we got. So we took off, we're cruising around, we're just turning out over here, heading for LAX. We're right about here. There's LAX. So we got light rime icing at 19,000, light rime 21,000. We look like, at least in the sim, we're above that. We got moderate rime icing, 22. And once we get into the Central Valley, we got some moderate turbulence at 32,000. So I don't know what happened there. I thought for a second my computer froze up. Yeah, so we got some moderate turbulence along the route here, along with icing. More moderate chop. I guess we can expect to see that. These PIREPs are usually can I move that over? No. What do we got? Modesto, flight level 500, base is 500, okay. Nothing there. More light rime. Maybe we'll put the, we'll play around with the anti-icing when we get up there. Alright, so we are almost up at our altitude. Where are we? Yep, 30,000. Let's go ahead and turn the seatbelt sign off before we get into some of that turbulence. We'll let our passengers hit the laboratories, because once we get past Burbank here and whatnot, we start probably seeing some of that turbulence. Let's take a look around here. Oh, we've got a little bit of a view there. Let's pop out this way. See, I know that probably sounds a lot louder now. and see the sound levels going up. So we're just coming up to LAX here. This looks like the mountains. Look back and forth. Let's take a look outside. Now this may be loud, so warning. Not too loud, okay. Hopefully nothing locks up on me. There we go. Got a little hole. There we go. We can actually see LAX right down below us here. Just crossing LAX. Alright, let's pop back in here. So, let's see, how loud are things? It's got internal engine. Drop that down just a little bit. I guess I'll keep it there. Outside engine volume, we can keep it the same. Cabin crew PA, weather, turbulence, airport volume. I know I want to turn that down. That was all that chatter you hear like you're in a terminal. Roll volume, yeah, it's all good. Cockpit volume. That's all the buttons and switches, that's fine. Ground proximity warning, we can leave that up. Alerts, APU volume, I'll leave that where it is. Avionics, got that turned down a little bit. Alright, I think that's okay. I'm starting to bounce around a little bit already as we're crossing over LAX. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break here. We'll let you guys keep an eye on things if you haven't already started to fast forward to the approach, which should be pretty interesting. Let me zoom out a little bit here. Alright, so we are at our altitude, expecting some turbulence. We're already getting a little chop.
Traffic.
And some traffic popping up. Alright, we're on our way to Sacramento. At least according to what I see here before I take my quick break here. Show you what the radar looks like. So we just crossed over LAX here. We're heading for, looks like Burbank down here. Van Nuys and Burbank. We're right about someplace between here and here. And we got some clearing, at least the radar returns here, until we start our descent someplace around here into the muck. So, should be an interesting approach. Alright, I'm going to take my quick little break, and I will be back. I'll let you guys keep an eye on the cockpit for me here. Actually, let's see, let's take a look out the windshield here. You can see a little bit of brakes there. Maybe we'll end up actually seeing something. Anyway, I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back in a cockpit. Looks like we're starting to hit a little bit of that turbulence, so let's turn seatbelt sign back on. Take a look and see if we got anything weird up here. I don't think so. I think everything looks good. We did turn that off, right? Yeah. They almost, you know, they look like they're on, just from the position. Well, it is stormy in California today, that is for sure. Let's take a look and see how much more time we got. The flight itself is just over an hour-ish. You know, not counting all the ground time and all that. Let's hit progress. And I forgot to set my clock, but what are we at? 19:16 right now. And we should be arriving at, this is LAX. Let's see. We should be. It's a little bit different than display than what I'm used to. So let me see. It's giving me arrival times at all the. Oh, here we go. Destination 1951. So it's 1960. So right around what, 40 minutes or so. We got our light chop right now that we were expecting. How's our airspeed doing here? So we were at Mach 0.775-ish. Jumping up and down there in the turbulence. Which I think, if we go to legs, what were we at? I had us going quite a bit higher. .823, so we're going to start speeding up here? Not sure. We got 33 miles to this EHF, which is, let me see, EHF, whatever that is, VOR, and then I think we speed up. If I'm reading this correctly, we should start speeding up at that point. Traffic. So what I'm going to do is, since we're above most of the weather here, I'm going to turn off my weather. My computer, as you can see, is stuttering a little bit as it is with this airplane. Time for a new graphics card. I think I'm pushing this one to the limits. I wonder how realistic the auto throttle is. I noticed this also in the Zibo 737 mod for the default, 737-800 in X-plane. You get any kind of turbulence like that, and it just sits there, bounces back and forth, and I don't know, just being on real-world airliners, I don't recall ever hearing the engines fluctuating that much, even in decent turbulence. So let's see how far we are from our top of descent. It looks like, what is this? That's 40, 80, 120-ish. Just kind of judging by the tick marks here. Somewhere about 120. Let's see if we see. Let's see, do we go to descent? Estimate ED HE. Not sure what that means. Economy speed. That's our economy descent. We're supposed to be at 774, which it is, kind of trying to keep us there. See, it says we're going to step to 38 at now. Whatever now means. Enemy climb. Progress. I want to see how far away our top of descent is. So 2. That next destination. Oh, here we go. Top of descent. At 34 minutes, so we got about 12 minutes to top of descent. Yeah, we're right now at 115 nautical miles from it. So we are getting there. Take a look outside here. At that turbulence, excuse me, giving a little bit of a wing flex there. How's that look? There we go. Some moderate chop, I guess. It seems the airplane is quite stable. Other than the speed fluctuations there. I don't know if I'd call that moderate. We can look up the definition of moderate. Of course, it varies by airframe too. So something that's light in one airplane may be moderate in another one. As we turn on our course here. I'm looking up the exact classifications for turbulence. take a look. Here we go. Alright, so while we're bouncing around a little bit, we'll get a little aviation education in. Let's see if I can zoom that out a little bit here. Or, sorry, zoom in a little bit here. So this is from the Airman's Information Manual, the official one. Or at least maybe the latest one, I'm not sure. Let me zoom in here a little bit so we can take a closer look at this. Alright, so let me get this right. Alright, here we go. So light turbulence is turbulence that momentarily causes slight erratic changes in altitude and or attitude, pitch, roll, yaw, reported as light turbulence, or turbulence that causes slight, rapid, and somewhat rhythmic bumpiness without appreciable changes in altitude or attitude. Report as light chop. So that's kind of, I'm going to say that's pretty much where we are. Let's see. Reaction inside aircraft. Occupants may feel a slight strain against seat belts or shoulder straps. Unsecured objects may be displaced slightly. Food service may be conducted with little or no difficulty. Or with little or no difficulty is encountered in walking. Oh, and little or no difficulty. So, and here you've got the actual definitions. So, occasional light, less than 1/3 of the time. That's for occasional. Intermittent, 1/3 to 2/3. Continuous, more than 2/3. So I think we got continuous light turbulence here. Say, look at. I didn't want to do that. Okay. Stop. So moderate turbulence. Turbulence that is similar to light turbulence, but of greater intensity. You gotta love the government here. Government logic here. Okay, so changes in altitude and or attitude occur, but the aircraft remains in positive control at all times. Usually causes variations in indicated airspeed, report as moderate turbulence. So, yeah, we got variations in airspeed. Or turbulence that is similar to light chop, but greater intensity causes rapid bumps or jolts without appreciable changes in aircraft altitude or attitude. So we don't have any changes in our attitude. We do have the speed though, so it causes variations in indicated airspeed. So okay, moderate turbulence. We don't need to see what they say about, you know, occupants, whatever. Food service and walking are difficult, because they're getting kind of jolted around. Pilots should report location, blah blah blah. Duration may be based on time. Okay, it's just for reporting terms. Okay, let's take a look at severe. Now, severe turbulence. Turbulence that causes large, abrupt changes in altitude and or attitude. It usually causes large variations in indicated airspeed. Aircraft may be momentarily out of control. Okay, so that's like severe is severe. Momentarily out of control, meaning you've got to, like, you know, the plane just all of a sudden starts to turn in one direction, you know, starts rolling, and you've got the control's complete opposite, and it doesn't do anything for a few seconds. So to have severe turbulence is quite turbulent. I think, well, let's look at extreme is obviously, extreme turbulence is turbulence in which the aircraft is violently tossed about and is practically impossible to control. It may cause structural damage, blah blah blah. Okay, so you can see that for the most part, turbulence is pretty light for, you know, if you're just kind of bouncing around, but you've got to have a speed change, which we have, in order for it to fall into the moderate category, even though we don't seem to be bounced around that much, there's just a little bit of a little bounciness, but we are getting those variations in airspeed right here. And that's why probably those guys that we saw earlier were reporting it as moderate. So let's take a look over here again. So here's one, moderate. It's a Boeing 737. And being that I'm an actual weather guy, I'll read it off of here. So it's this is the location of it. This is the time, 1834, flight level 330. This is 737. Turbulence TB moderate. Remarks. That's just, it was submitted through their, automated system, Air Weather Service web. And there's the moderate turbulence. So probably, at least based on what we're seeing, and again, we're only in a simulator, so it may be different. It may not be exactly the same. I'd say we got moderate because of the speed changes, otherwise the chop. Here, see, like this guy's reporting at 33,000 moderate chop, giving us the location again. Let's take it here, some light turbulence at 5,000. Cessna 172, giving us winds 10, light turbulence 5,000. So not too bad. There's some moderate rime.
Traffic.
Yep, I know, traffic. Popping in and out of our TCAS. So just for the hell of it, let's find some heavier turbulence to look at, even though it's not on our route. Let's see what we got here. There's probably some up here. Oop, look at this guy. See that? That's that light to moderate chop. Light to moderate, light moderate. There's moderate. Moderate turbulence. Let's go over here where they're having some more weather on the East Coast. Try to find some greater turbulence, anything that's over moderate. We might get into it here in California eventually. No, I don't see any severe turbulence anywhere. It's all moderate. Down over here, maybe we'll get something in down in the south. A lot of moderate turbulence in Florida. Moderate chop. Alright, keep an eye on the pilot reports along our route here. Let's take a look at that moderate chop. What did it say? Occasional chop. Somewhere it said report is chop. Okay, so here we go. So turbulence that is similar to light but greater intensity causes rapid bumps, jolts, appreciable changes in aircraft altitude and altitude. Report is chop. So choppiness, it's not just steady, steady bumpiness. It's just like it's steady and then you get a jolt. It's steady and you get that little jolt. Then it's calm and you get that jolt, kind of. If you've flown any amount of time, you probably might experience that at some point. So, like I said, based on our airspeed fluctuations, we classify this as moderate. And actually now we're sort of steadied off here. Still got our variations in airspeed, but not really bouncing around like we were earlier. Still getting the wing flex there. Alright, well, we are coming up to our top of descent, so this is going to be an interesting approach. Let's stay ahead of the airplane and get stuff set up here. I'll double check. Yeah, we got our seatbelt signs on. And let's take a look at our altitude here. So we are going to be descending all the way over here. What is this? Glad, or I'm going to say Glad. Just after Fools and Suitor, Trilock, New Ray. We're going down to 19,000. Again, the B is at and below. And then we're going 9,000, 3,400. By then, we should be pretty much picking up our approach, or 3,400, and then down to the runway. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to preset. I'm going to preset 1,400 in the autopilot here. So 1,400. The approach into Sacramento is pretty straightforward. It's out. There's no mountains or anything. It's all flat land. You said that the field elevation was like what, 27 feet or something. So, all right. So we're gonna pre-select 1,400.
Traffic.
So my computer skips a beat here. Alright, 1,400. And the FMC and autopilot will take us along our descent altitudes for each fix. And we can see we got our little bounciness again. And we're turning on our course here. Let's zoom in a little bit. There we go. Alright, so we're coming up, what is that? That's 20 miles, 30. We're roughly about 30 from top of descent right now. So I'm going to take one more quick break before we start our descent, and then we can start getting set up for the approach. So I will be right back again. Alright, I'm back. Ready for our descent. It looks like we're just coming up to our top of descent here. What did I want to talk about here? Oh, approach speeds. So, like I said earlier, I'm new to the 757. I've mainly been flying the 737, you know, Zibo. So I know that thing inside and out, forward and backward. Still learning this 757. And, you know, all of the FMC parts and pieces. I did a little research and, you know, looking up the approach speed. So generally, I mean, I know that the approach speed is based on, you know, your weight, your fuel load, all that stuff. And I'm guessing this thing probably tells me someplace. There we go. Wind forecast, destination, route data. Well, anyway, long story, make it short. I know that the approach speed, it looks like for the 757 is somewhere between 135, 137, something like that. 132 or something.
Traffic.
I don't want to push things that will screw up my flight here, so I'm not going to look for it too much. I'm guessing someplace on here there is somewhere that tells me what the actual descent will be. Yeah, it looks like we're just coming up to it. Oh, yeah, we are on our descent. No, I thought maybe we lost some clouds there for a minute. Just the sim resetting. So it looks like we are throttling back, and we've started our descent. So for our airplane here, approach speed, you know, towards the runway, we've still got plenty of fuel. We're pretty heavy. I think, obviously, if you're heavier, you're going to be going a little bit faster. So we're probably going to want to stay at the top of that. So right around 138, 137, I guess. I don't know. We'll eyeball it. So we've been looking at clouds all across California. This should be an interesting approach. Let's take a look at the latest weather here at Sacramento. I'll bring this up for you. There we go. So there's Sacramento, our endpoint. Looks like we got decent rain all throughout here. And we get just some light turbulence, no real icing. Here's some moderate rime. So we kind of expect maybe to have some of it. We said earlier we'll play around with the icing or anti-icing in the plane. Let's take a look at the observation currently. Wind still 0303 knots, so we're good there. We're going to be heading north on whatever runway we picked there. I can't remember right now, but they got 3 miles visibility, light rain and fog broken at 200 feet, so we're going to be going to minimums here. Overcast at 1,000, and altimeter, what is that, 2986. We'll double check that with the in the actual sim. As a matter of fact, why don't we go ahead and do that? Let's just pull up one of these, see what the ATIS is. 126.75. So we'll tune that and see if we can listen into ATIS. What was it again? I already forgot. 126.75, I think I said. Yeah, 126.75. Alright, let's get rid of that. Alright, so COM, that's our COM 126.75. Switch that over and hopefully we will hear the ATIS once we get a little bit closer in. Let's take a look up here and see what we got for anti-icing. Where was it? That's our engine, fuel, wing. Here we go. So we got wing anti-icing and engine anti-icing. Pretty straightforward. Nice view out the left here. As I take a swig of water. Well, it looks like we kind of smoothed it. We got smooth air here. Let's put it that way. Give the flight attendants a chance to clear up everybody. Let's let's make believe like we're gonna call the flight attendants. What do we got here? Someplace on here. Hello, attendants. Where are the attendants? Is there a button on here I can call them? Circuit breakers, or is it down on the bottom? So many buttons. Where is it? Oh well. I guess we're on our own here. Don't know how to call the flight attendants up. So while we're here, I'm going to turn up our panel lights. That's our backlit lighting. Overhead, flood, map light we don't need. You can see we got some sun coming into the cockpit now. So we are on our descent, passing 22,000. And I'm going to take a quick look again, just at our altimeter, real world 2986. Now what do we got here? We got a light. We got a light on. FMC, probably requesting drag. Yep, drag requested. Clear that out. Looks like we are at our airspeed here. Let me take a look down here, see if I see the attendant call out. I don't see it. Where is it? Maybe it's up top. Let's look at this again. View just going down. Where is it? Headset, HUD panel, lights, wipers, icing, fuel, engine, light, heat. Cabin call. There we go. Here we go. Forward, mid, aft, alert, ground call. Not sure what that does, but We don't even get a beep or anything. Oh well. Bring us some coffee. I can see, let's take a look forward here. You can see the ground a little bit through this stuff. Let's turn on our weather radar. See if we start painting anything. Keep that on for now. And I wonder if the distance makes anything here. Makes a difference in what weather gets painted on the radar. I know it does in the Zibo. It seems like it only paints, well, it paints a little blotch. There's for a distance, I think like a 40. So when you're set to 40 like this, it'll fill up the whole screen. It doesn't really go farther than that. So here's our jump seat view. Got our dash view. You can see the ground a little bit through some of this cloudiness. Let's see if we see anything out here. Just a little bit. Where's our temperature? -2. That's our outside temperature, so could get a little bit of icing here. So we are below 18,000. Passing 16,000 right now. Let's go ahead and reset our altimeter setting to real world, which is now 2986 still. And do the same for the backup. We'll modify that if we get our ATIS. Looks like the throttles are pretty much at idle here. As we start down into the clouds pretty soon. Outside air temp is now 0, so we're at 32. Maybe we won't need any icing, anti-icing. And no pyreps other than farther to the west of us. And basically what we have right now, we've got a system that's dropping down from the northwestern Pacific Ocean into California. We're sort of on the warm front portion of it right now, so not too cold. That's why we only see a few actual icing reports. It's mostly light rime. Looking at one in moderate rime at 16,000, but that's well to our west.
Sacramento INTL information India.
There we go.
1900 Zulu weather. Wind light and variable, visibility 2, rain. Sky conditions 400 broken, 3400 overcast, temperature 9, dew point 9. Altimeter 2988. Arriving runways 16 left.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and
right.
reset
Departing
our
runways 16 left.
altimeter,
16 right.
2988.
Advise on initial contact, you have India.
And we got a 400-foot broken ceiling. Let's go ahead and get rid of that ATIS now. The air temp is definitely warming up. We're at +4 right now. I think we're good on our icing. Alright, so we got our altimeter set. Let's go ahead and get ready for the approach and landing here. Auto braking, we will set to 2. And where are we at? We're still at 12,000, so we'll wait on all the lighting. Well, I guess we can take a look at. We can put our wing lights on.
Traffic.
Put our logo light on. What the heck? Everything else can stay as is. Not sure what that was. It's a co-pilot throwing up. Look ahead before the clouds fill in. Got a little bit of the ground, but as you can see, it's pretty flat out there. As the weather resets. And back down here. Since it did reset, let's. I think that's like when the simulator actually updates the weather. It does that. It does a redraw.
Sacramento INTL information India.
So let's just double check
1900
this.
Zulu weather. Wind light and variable.
Yep, still the
visibility
same.
2, rain. Sky conditions 400 broken.
Okay. So we just wanted to make sure we didn't get a change in the ATIS there. Yeah, let's see, we're at 280 knots indicated, 10,000 feet, so we're going to have to start slowing down here a little bit, I think. There we go. Actually, I think it's what we're capturing one of these, one of the waypoints, and it's slowing us down at 250. Yeah, looks like it's set for 240 something. Yeah, 240. Just looking at the heading bug or the speed bug right there. So 240, then we're going at 210, 170, and down to the runway. Not sure why it gives us 190 there. Hopefully we'll be slower than that by the time we get down on the runway. Yeah, pretty smooth out here. Go. We can see our little indicators changing here, so it's going to start us down. As we pass through 10,000 feet. Yeah, not sure on this 757. We get a little bit of distortion here on the inside of the engine. Notice that on pretty much all the flights that I've done, so I don't know what it is. Maybe I got some settings. My graphic settings are a little need some adjusting or something there. And so here's our approach, pretty much over to, what is this, 5-pin, and then make our turn straight in, right? 5-pin, should be at 3,400, and then on we go. Like I said, it's a pretty straightforward approach into Sacramento. But we got ceiling at 400 feet, so this should be somewhat fun. The clouds, even though you can kind of see through them here and there, they tend to fill in as we get down into them. What's the visibility again? I forgot.
Sacramento INTL information Juliet.
2 miles, rain.
1900 Zulu weather.
400 broken.
Wind
okay.
light and variable.
Yeah. So 2 miles visibility with a 400-foot broken ceiling. This should definitely be near minimum approach here. So we're roughly 20 miles out from our turn, maybe a little bit short. And what are we doing? You know, I forgot what runway we're going to. What are we going to? 34 right. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up the RNAV. 34 right. I'll go ahead and show it on the screen here. Go ahead and expand that. So here's 5-pin. We're going to be turning. We're going to make a turn out of this direction and straight into the runway right there. Let's see what we got here. We got our ATIS, approach course 348. Take note of that, 348, and here's our descent. Pretty straightforward. So 348, let's go ahead and can we set it heading? Let's set our heading for 348. Go the right way, 348. Just in case we got to screw around with the autopilot here a little bit, since I'm not totally familiar. I'm still in the checkout phase of my 757. Alright, so we've got our approach course set. Let's go ahead and zoom in here a little bit more. We'll actually go to, what is that? So 10 miles out. That should be pretty good. Is that the minimum, I think? Yeah. Go to 20 here, just so we can keep an eye on that 5-pin intersection or waypoint. Alright, we're at 6,600. Let's go ahead and get all our lights on. So we'll get all our turn off lights on, landing lights on, nose gear lights, all the other lights are all set. I don't think we're going to need to be slowing down much. Maybe. I'm doing a little bit of a spoiler here to get us slowed down. I can see we're bumping up a bit, and I got my drag required message again. Let's clear that out. Alright, there we go. Spoilers down. I use one of my sliders on my joystick for the spoilers. I'm gonna keep them up and keep wanting to bump up on our airspeed here. We're supposed to be holding 240. Alright, so we are about 20 miles from the airport. I'm going to start doing my flaps here. I don't know what the actual flap schedule is, but we'll go to 1 notch of flaps right now. Oh. And then all of a sudden we lost our autopilot. Really? Again, learning this airplane. I don't know if we're supposed to lose our autopilot, if just because I did 1 notch of flaps. Maybe because I'm going too fast or something. Let's slow ourselves down here. We're supposed to be at 240. And so flaps are at, where's my flap indicator on this thing? My goodness. There it is. Spoilers down. Speed is at idle. VNAV. Just gonna reset this. I didn't touch anything. All I did was do the flaps and looked like it disengaged my autopilot or something. I'm gonna go to a second settings of flap. I wonder what that is. Is it maybe just overspeed? Yeah, overspeed on that. That's why it's doing that. Okay, so it's not actually resetting my autopilot. It's just giving me that warning. Yeah, sorry, my flap schedule understanding is different here. Or lacking. Get ourselves slowed up as the stewardess's cart goes flying. I guess I'll have to look up the actual flap schedule that the real world 757 uses. Like I said, I'm used to the 737 Zibo, where yeah, I know exactly the speed for flap deployment and how everything works within the airplane. So hopefully we have a nice approach here and I don't lose. My computer doesn't freak out on me. I've had that happen before, unfortunately, where I'm on final descent and it's like I'm on a 10-mile final and the computer says, you know what, I'm going to lock up on you. Alright, so I'm going to square up my view here. We're going to make our turn at 5 pin and head on down. So our airspeeds again, we're at 210 and then 170 over here at Cedra. So hopefully I know the engines are throttled back, so I'm not sure how loud it is on the actual video. So here we are making our turn towards final, and then I'm gonna go start dropping my flaps. I think about 10 miles out. Getting some rain. And we're at 3,500. Now, you know, the one thing I didn't look at was like approach. Let's see. See, I click approach. I don't know if that does anything. Excuse me. Sorry about that. A little tickle in my throat. And frame rate's going to crapola here. Zoom in on that, and I got a dotted line here. Well, that's our final approach course. All right, so we're going to be at 170. Was it? Yeah, 170 at Cedar. Alright. And I'm going to take this down to 200, which is our minimum. Like I said, I hit approach, but I don't know how that works when you're doing a VNAV. I don't know if I got to change something else in here. Do I need to change this to approach? That's VOR, that's approach. Okay. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. We're painting something. And you know what? I'm just going to keep it like that. Alright, so we are at Cedar. And get our flaps down. Going to 20 degrees flaps. Gear coming down. Our vertical speed is like off though. Got it. And disengage everything. Whoa. It starts dropping us down here. We'll fly this manually if it doesn't lock up on me. I don't have any indicator here, so let's go full flaps. Hopefully we don't overshoot the runway here. We're at 150 on the airspeed. We're quite high, so yeah, let's keep going down. I think we're going to overshoot the runway. And we got the autopilot turned off. We're diving down. Okay, I'm gonna arm the spoilers. Okay, we got full flaps gear down. We're on course.
1,000.
Okay, 1,000 feet. Yeah, I think I gotta practice my my instrument approaches with this airplane, because I'm basically just flying this blind right now.
Sync rate.
There we go.
Pull up. Pull up.
Oh, that's okay. Alright, we'll get some throttle in here, so we're gonna sort of level out here. We're at 460 feet. Not that much. And I'm not quite sure how far away we actually are. Half a mile, it looks like.
Approaching 3-4 right.
There it is. Yeah, we're going a little bit too slow, I think. Okay, gear down, flaps down, landing lights down. Get our airspeed in check here. We're definitely below our glide path here.
Minimums.
Yep, there's. And there's definitely a lag here in the engine response time compared to the 737. That I'm not used to. Alright, well, we made it down. It's going to be a long landing, maybe. We'll see how well I do here.
50.
And there's our airspeed, 134.
30, 20. 10.
Throttle back. So a little bit of a flare here. Nice. Thrust reversers are on. Auto braking, or at 80.
4,000 feet remaining.
Thrust reversers off. Spoilers down. We'll go to heavy braking here.
3,000 remaining.
Take this high-speed taxiway. Get our flaps up. Alright, so auto braking's disarmed. Get a couple messages there. I think one of them was from the drag required or FMC message. Taxi back to the terminal over here. So welcome to Sacramento. That was an interesting approach. I think I definitely need a little bit more practice time on the instrument procedures within the 757. Figure out how the approaches work with the autopilot and FMC. And let's get up here. We go landing lights off. We can turn strobes off. Wing lights can go off. Turn our APU on. So the flaps were up. Yep, spoilers up. We'll come over here and take a spot at one of the terminals, and then do a quick replay of that treacherous landing. I basically had no guidance down to the on the approach, except for just the map view. I know I disengaged the autopilot, but then it's like, why does that still come on? I don't know. Looks like a crowded ramp over here. Let's see if we can fit in someplace. Maybe the weather is causing some delays here, I don't know. Or they're just parking random jets places. Let's see if we can find a gate. Or pretty much just straight ahead, I think. So once I actually get to the gate, I'll take a look at all these messages and see what I can learn. We'll take this one right up ahead of us. Yeah, the one thing I don't like about the static scenery is they tend to put these street lights all over the tarmac. Alright, throttle's at idle. Let's try slowing down here. I don't think we'd have a street light sitting there. Get us slowed down. Alright, I'm gonna call it right there. Stop. Alright, brakes on. Let's double check that the brakes are on. Nope. Gotta fix that on my joystick. Alright, so let's see here. Let's see, all these lights can come off. Nose gear off. APU power, even though it says fail, I don't know why it says fail, we'll figure that out. And what else do we gotta do here? Oh, APU bleed on, valve. Okay. Turn the engine off. Engine bleed, that is. And then I think we'll just shut her down here. Great. Shut down 1 and 2. And hopefully I switched everything over correctly. Yep, we got that. We can turn those off. Hydraulic pumps off. Electrical off. Alright, so we had quite a few indicators on here. FMC mission, auto brakes, autopilot. Okay, and the rest is all just us doing stuff here. So, what was I going to look at? Oh yeah, what was the message on here? Performance VNAV unavailable. Probably because I did something wrong. Okay, let's do a replay at least, and it was a pretty straightforward landing, I think, but the approach was definitely left wanting. Let's see. I think that's far enough back. Of course, everything's off already, so I can't see. Let's fast forward this until we get somewhere. Because I know we kind of got out of the clouds and then coasted a little bit. There we go. We get some engine sounds. Which way we want to look? We'll look at that. I like that one better. Okay. And there we go. We cross over that, and then we get towards the runway. Okay. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe. I try to do some X-Plane videos at least once a week, if not more. And I thought I'd do this one with the new airplane that I'm still learning, and the fact that we've actually got weather here. So thanks for watching if you made it this far, or if you just jumped ahead to the landing. Appreciate watching anyway. Like I said, hit subscribe, hit the like button, the bell button, all that stuff. You know what to do. I will be doing some more 737 Zibo videos where I will be a little bit more proficient than I was in the 757 here. But I'm getting up to speed in it. Enjoying the airplane. Like with any new airplane, there's always some quirks and a little bit of a learning curve to it. But at least got us down on the ground in one piece in Sacramento here. Again, thanks for watching. Take care, guys.